Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okay, we are here today to make some little booklets. Well, to be honest, I made these little booklets, probably about a year and a half ago. Maybe more, maybe longer ago, I can't remember, but could almost be 3 years now, I don't know. I made so many of them at the time, like so many of them. And half of them I finished, and the other half have been sitting in my sewing room waiting for me to get back to them. I still have some that are unsewn and unfinished, but these ones the cover has all been sewn together, and all it is a piece of fabric. It is upholstery fabric, so it's very thick and very sturdy, and I have basically just taken two pieces of packaging and placed them side by side with a gap in between them on the piece of fabric and glued them down. I did cover the pieces of packaging with book page, but that's neither here nor there. You could cover them with anything. But yes, they're side by side with a small gap in between them, so that creates a spine, a bendable spine for the book. I covered that with a piece of calico because I didn't want the raw edge. And then I sewed around the entire thing and sewed up and down each side of the spine. So yeah, we have a little booklet. It's a very simple little thing. But yeah, they need papers. Obviously, it's supposed to be a book. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to cut papers to the right size for all these little booklets. Then I'm going to take them back to my sewing machine and just sew straight up spine. Zip. With just a straight stitch, and that will sew them into the book. So it will be a quick and simple sort of process once all the papers are cut. That's what's going to take me the time, is cutting the papers to the right size. So I'll show you, I guess, cutting some of the papers up, but really it's just I'm making pages for a little book. So yeah, nothing too extreme. So yeah, we'll do a bit of that, and then I will take them away and sew them. I worked on these for probably an hour and a half, but I ended up with 18 of them at the end of it. So yeah, that was quite a lot. Of course, you don't need to see an hour and a half of me cutting paper and basically coming back. So I'll cut it all out. This will be quite a short video in the end, I assume. Anyway, guys, just busy work. I'm trying to tidy up still, and this was recorded before I went away, just for transparency's sake, I guess. So I'm still in the midst of cleaning up, and this is one of the jobs that I set for myself. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Now, just to make things difficult for myself, these little books are not the same size. They are all completely odd-bod sizes. They were just made with random food packaging, and I just made them whatever size worked best to get the most out of my food packaging. So I am going to have to separately make pages for every single one of these 18 booklets, because none of them are exactly the same. Some of them are similar, but none of them are the same. So yeah, I will be individually making signatures for every single one of these. I cannot just mass cut the papers to the same size. So it's going to be a long and tedious process. The reason I am picking these pages apart and putting them, sort of staggering them in between each other, is because when I tear them in bundles like this, they tend to sort of stick together. The edges that are torn sort of seem to mesh together a little bit, the little fibres in the paper, so it's really hard to flick through your booklet. So I like to pull the pages apart individually and sort of swap them around with each other, so that we don't have that issue. You know, it's not difficult for whoever gets this little journal in the end of the day, little notebook, whatever you want to call it. It's not difficult for them to separate the pages and use the book. So that's my job. Some of these pages are a little smaller than the others. I decided I didn't care, so I'm just mixing them together so that throughout the journal it won't look weird. They're just all quite staggered. So anyway, that's 3 of these little books basically, done. The pages are done. I am going to take, I'm going to do all of them, but then I'm going to take them all to the sewing machine and, like I say, just sew a straight stitch up the middle to hold the signature in. So I am going to skip straight to that. I don't think you really need to see me tear up any more papers. It's all going to be exactly the same thing. Exactly the same paper, exactly the same tears, exactly the same thing. So, yeah, I'm going to skip you guys right to where we come back from the sewing machine and you can see the little books all together. Okay, we're about to come back from the sewing machine and here they all are. It looks like there's hundreds of them. There's 18. Now, the thing about these is at the moment they sit flat. They are not going to close. Well, you can hold them closed, but as soon as you let them go, they're going to, all sort of open up like this. I did sew them in one big long string. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm actually cutting them apart because they're all sewn together. I just push them through the machine one after the other. So they're all attached to each other at the moment. Anyway, we'll get them cut apart and then I'm going to go and find something to basically tie around them to keep them closed. So a little closure, probably some ribbon or scrap fabric or whatever I can lay my hands on right at the moment. And then we might grab out some little fabric snippets and just stick one of those on front of each one because, well, they're perfectly serviceable as they are, but they're pretty boring. So, yeah, I'll pull out my fabric snippets and we can have a bit of a play with those as well. Okay, so far I've come up with a piece of scrap fabric, a length of random ribbon. This is the strap off of a camera, so I'm just going to cut the little doohickey off the end and use this for a couple of them. I'll go off and find some other bits and pieces and do all the rest. You don't need, again, to see me tie a bow around every single one of these 18 journals. So, yeah, we'll skip along again and go to the fabric snippets. And this is it. This is my box of fabric snippets. Sometimes I just sit down and pin lots of fabric together and then run it through my sewing machine, much the way I did these little books. I will pin a heap of fabric, little piles together, and then just run them through my sewing machine one after the other, joining them on in a big long string, and I end up with a box full of fabric snippets like this. yeah, I haven't done it for a long time because I have a box full of fabric snippets like this. But I'd really like to do it again, so let's use some of them up. Eventually, after these have been tied shut like this for a while, when you untie them, they will stay shut. Yeah, they'll just learn to do that. So, yeah, I'm just going to sit here now and stick fabric snippets on a few of these, and yeah, eventually I'm just going to skip straight to the end. I actually ended up turning off the camera. My camera was going flat anyway, and I thought, well, you've seen me glue on fabric snippets. Yeah, you can just sit here and look in my fabric snippet box and enjoy them all, but yeah, I thought it was getting a bit dull having to watch me pour through them every couple of minutes and try and stick one on the front of a book. So yeah, again, I will skip to the end. We will see them all their entirety, and then I will show you some photographs at the end. So yeah, I hope everything that I've done has been sort of self-explanatory. It's just busy work. It's stuff that's been sitting waiting for a moment. I sometimes feel like I don't have any moments left in my life. It's just so busy. So yeah, it's actually been really, really great to have a couple of days downtime and before I've gone away. And just do some of these jobs that have been piling up over the last year or so. So, yeah, I've actually really enjoyed it. And hopefully when I come back and all these jobs are done and I have a clean slate, things will be, yeah, a lot easier to sort of move forward. And things might, start looking a little bit different because I won't be using the same stuff off of my desk. So, who knows? Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this in any case. And yeah, I really appreciate your company, as I always do, because it's nice to know that there's people out here who find this interesting. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back again tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Bye.